when I need something, right when I need it, I call Father Chad and I just say, "Hey, real quick, I have memories. You got any memories? Because I have no more memory left. I'm all filled up." Good evening and welcome to Bad Analogies, where we're exploiting every loophole, dodging every obstacle, and penetrating the bureaucracy. Let's get started. So I just have one quick story to share with you guys tonight on the podcast. Actually, my memory was jogged. It was my mind ran to the past. My memory was jogged, sprinted, if you will, into yesteryear. By a conversation with a good friend of mine, Father Chad. Father Chad and I were in college together. He's a Catholic priest now. I'm not, but he is. It's all for the best. Father Chad is. He's okay. Look, we're not gonna go. He's a good guy. Okay, all right. I don't want to gush on the air. He's a good guy. Okay, married me. You know what I mean. A lot of people do that. That like 6-hour course to become a justice of the peace for a day in order to marry their best friend. I like to say that, like, my friends, do a 9-year formation to become a Catholic priest for life, giving up a wife and family just to marry their friend. That is true friendship. So, anyways, that's the kind of guy Father Chad is. Anyways, him and I were on the phone the other day. We're reminiscing over, Saturday morning coffee, and this is of course FaceTime. We're both busy people. Anyway, so we're talking, and he says to me, so I had asked him. This guy has got a memory like he's kind of like Rain Man, and probably the same social skills, but also great memory. You know what I mean? There's a trade-off. You can have a great memory. You can be kind of socially, I don't want to say socially inept, but there are opportunities for growth. And then you can be just a social, you can be like a social maverick. You can be the Swiss Army knife of social dynamics, but have the memory of goldfish. So you kind of have to pick your poison. You know what I mean? You can't have it all. You can't, you can't have it all. Anyways, so I'm talking to Father Chad, and I was trying to really, as I was starting this podcast, I was like, my memory is really the challenging thing. There's a lot of great things. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of hilarious and worthwhile things I've said in my life. Certain of it, but I can't remember like two of them, or maybe even three. And so I was talking to Father Chad. I said, Father Chad, so do me a favor. If you think of anything funny or worthwhile or anything that I've said in the past, do me a favor, jot it down just as a note to expound upon later, and text it to me. Just because I want to tap into that resource, of his memory. His memory is kind of like the human version of like Amazon Prime cloud storage, or the Google Drive. Do you know what I mean? It can hold a lot of valuable information, but then there's a lot of stuff you're like, ooh, middle school, why did I save that to Google Drive? You know what I mean? Like that's not profound. That's Chad's memory, Father Chad's memory. He'll resurface things that you said, and it's like, that we didn't even remember that. Are you? He's like Thanos. He's burdened with knowledge. You know what I mean? I really should say actually he's more of a burden of knowledge. But again, can't hate too much, because I call him. I'm talking to him, and I want to avail myself now when in my time of need. Now I'm a huge fan of this memory. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, I want to pull some stuff off the cloud, Chad. So, and he says he'll think about it if it comes to him. The first thing that came to his mind though was he just said, just removing an essay from plastic wrap. And what's so funny is jogged so many fond memories of hilarious things I've said, but he's he recalls this one time, and this kind of the crux of the podcast today is being prepared, and procrastinating. So in college, reliving the glory days is better than acting like they never happened, as a good man once said. As we go back to college days, so Father Chad, would always write his papers like the day the teacher assigned them. 2 months to write this, 10-page essay. And then Chad just goes to his dorm room and sits down at his desk. And like the door's open, people are milling about. People are coming in and out of the dorm room, talking, hanging out, goofing off. And he just sits down and like zones out and just kind of with no ambiance, no study ambiance, no no like headphones in, no library cafe, vibe needed. He's sitting at his desk. You know what I mean? It's like just like the morning sunlight coming through his window. Who writes a paper in the light of morn? At daybreak. No less. Anyway, so he's writing this paper, which he received the prompt for 2 hours ago, and he's given it no thought. He's given no reflection. He's not letting the ideas percolate, the thesis, prompts. He's not letting them stew. He's not thinking to himself, you know what? I'll observe my life and observe myself and my thoughts, and I'll kind of mill around with these ideas and let them marinate. And then maybe if I come across an experience or a situation, or I'll have an aha. Chad, I don't think he's ever had an aha moment. Now, I mean in his academic life, many aha moments, outside of academia. But from what it looked like, and trust me, I'm getting to the self-deprecating part later. You think, wow, he's being really hard on this guy. He's a priest. There's got to be some. He's a great man. But, I mean, geez, it was just, in college, he'd take the prompt back, and he'd just start typing away. And he'd start typing away. And I would tease him. I'm just like, there's Chad to go write another solid B paper, B+. You know what I mean? And consistent, just super consistent. It's one of his best qualities. Well, so Chad, I would make fun of him because he would finish his paper so long before the essay was due that on the day of the paper, it was as if he was like pulling it out of storage and it had been shrink wrapped. And I just told him it's kind of like you're just unwrapping like a classic Marvel comic book, and you're saying like, you know what, I'm gonna sell this thing. Like you know what, I'm taking it out of collection. I'm actually gonna let people read and touch this one. The difference was none of them were classics. Do you know what I mean? And that's not me being rude. He would say, nope, it's good. It's a B paper. It meets the criteria for an intro, a thesis, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. What else, does a paper need? You know what I mean? And here's the best part about it is after he would finish this paper, the day it was prompted, the day it was assigned, he would proceed to spend the next 2 months adamantly trying to get you to not write your paper because he wanted to go do other things. So it was really a codependent relationship, a match made in heaven. When you think about someone who's a procrastinator, who's like, you know what, I'll just write it the night before, cram it in, and hope for the best. All the while, I recently realized, or learned, not too recently, but I did eventually learn that writing the paper the night before was a great excuse for why you didn't get an A. Because you could say, well, yeah, I got to be you could always convince yourself, I probably would have gotten an A if I just like worked on it a little bit sooner. But I only had like 7 hours, so like B+ for 7 hours, like pretty good. Anyways, that's kind of the underlying. I think that's the underlying rationale. Anyway, so Father Chad, then he would just pull you away at every opportunity that you had to study. You're like, no, today I got 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out, I'm going to write this paper. 2 weeks out, I'm going to get started, probably do some reading, get my quotes. And Chad would be there saying like, just come hang out, just come to Chick-fil-A. We got just come. It's like it's noon on a Wednesday. I'm in productive mode, trying to get in productive mode. Chad's like, come on, you have plenty of time to write that paper. Anyways, all the while, his is shrink wrapped in a vault, in a glass case, framed, right, for him to take out of his collection and give to his collection of B+ papers on the day that they're due. And, part of me thinks that he may have had like multiple papers that were like interchangeable for class because they were so generic and like, you know, so generic and uh, let's say versatile. Let's just say versatile. Keep it positive. That he just sort of wrote like boilerplate. That's it. Boilerplate essays that were kind of like quasi academic in like a general like, like gender neutral clothing is like yellow and green. He wrote like subject neutral essays. You know what I mean? So he would, anyways. So he would turn in. I just imagine he had like 3 of those, for like versatile papers, just in glass and plastic. And then day of, he would just kind of like decide which one was closest to the class he had to walk into, and then he would just sort of, unseal it, and turn it in. And so, anyways, I was recounting this to Father Chad while we were on the phone, and I said, "Yeah, this is what you would do." And he goes, "Meanwhile." He goes, "Meanwhile, Alex's paper just piping hot, fresh off the presses, still warm when he hands it into the teacher." And it's true. I mean, I didn't write the paper morning of, but I definitely was printing it fresh. I mean, I'm a respectful person. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of teacher wants a cold, stale, shrink wrapped paper. They want something fresh, warm, knowing that it's right out of the fertile earth of your mind. You know what I mean? Fresh ideas. But no, Father Chad was very content with the cold pizza of papers. You know what I mean? I was kind of like the Polios, the Giordano's, the deep dish, melting warm, flaky crust, kind of paper right off the press of the printer. And he was more of like the cold, day old Papa John's, maybe Little Caesars, probably if we're moving in a quality direction here. But again, reliable. You know what I mean? Tried and true. Good for a large number of people. If you've got, 9 kids and you just need to feed people, you need to keep the operation running. You need a nice solid B plus paper. And he would just take that cold out of the fridge, out of the plastic wrap, out of the Ziploc bag. He'd take the 7 remaining slices of day-old cold pizza. He'd turn that in for a solid B. And here's the deal. He enjoyed his academic life way more than everybody else because he was, he was cool. He was good with that. And don't get me wrong, I was more than happy to have somebody who I could blame for distracting me from the work that I wasn't going to do anyway. So to wrap it up, I was on Instagram, and clearly we're all just kind of silently comfortable with knowing that the algorithm is listening to us all the time. You know what I mean? Like, things are recommended to me on Amazon, and this is not a new thing. I know I'm beating a dead horse here. But, I get recommended things on Amazon that are precisely based on new conversations that I've never searched for. I get recommendations on YouTube for everything that I talk about. On Instagram, like the day after, I have this conversation on the same phone that I'm swiping on Instagram. Same phone I'm having a conversation with Father Chad on. I get recommended on the homepage a video, and it's a guy talking about like his ADHD, and it says like how ADHD people perceive normal people, and it's this guy at his desk, and he's like typing. He's typing away, and this other guy, this normal guy, comes up to him and says, "Hey, here's that proposal you asked me for." And the guy with ADHD is like, "What do you mean? I gave this to you yesterday." And the guy's like, "Yeah, no, I just worked on it. It had a little bit of time. I put it together and just thought maybe you could review it. If there's any issues, we can just do another draft of it or something." And the guy, he just like doesn't understand because the deadline was like a month from when he gave it to him. And he goes, "You have a superpower." The guy's like, "What?" He goes, "Your parents must be very proud of you." But anyways, that's just basically sums up how somebody who's just like unprepared, like myself, views someone like Father Chad, because it's like sitting in a room that's full of people and distractions and stuff. And the day you're assigned something, you're just going to like just start working on it. without any kind of it's just like it's all internal, discipline. And I really, that's something that to get to the serious part, something I always really admired about Father Chad is that he is a amazing example of like what a disciplined person can do regardless of the circumstances. He's not dependent on external factors or pressures or forces for him to get done what he has a plan to do. He just I'm going to get this paper done because I have these things that I want to be able to spend my day doing. So anyways, that's basically it. So I guess the takeaway, if we were to sort of unearth some kind of takeaway here, is memory is a funny thing, and sometimes you need an external database for help with memory. Those of you who are uploading your photos to the cloud know what I'm talking about, running out of that storage. I'm just like a cell phone that has like 2 gigabytes of storage, and I'm taking like 15 megapixel photos every single day. High res, high quality, but I'm losing them local storage-wise. I can't keep track of them. So I'm trying to write more things down. But Father Chad is like that 17 terabytes of Google Drive storage. You know what I mean? I could run a small business with a team of 17 people just based on the memory and the RAM, the mental RAM that he has. So I'm super grateful for that in my life, because man, there would just be little moments of joy, happiness, and insight that had just been lost to the halls of time if it wasn't for my savant friend Father Chad, and his Google-like, his Amazon Prime cloud storage-like mind. And I guess there's 2 kinds of people in life. There's the people who like fresh off the press, dine in, fast food, and then there's the people who like, a nice day old cold pizza, but it's reliable. It's there. You don't have to go to the restaurant. You don't have to tip. You know what I mean? You order it in. It's it's in the fridge. You got that paper ready to go. Okay, because you thought ahead. And you know exactly what you like. It's not going to be the world's best pizza, but you know what you like, and you're getting what you want out of your semester. There. And lastly, you just kind of have to decide what kind of person you want to be. They say like, oh, always be prepared. You know what I mean? Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I don't really know. That's not really a lean operation. You can't just keep a bunch of stuff on hand. Sometimes you gotta, order it right when you need it. You want to keep a nice lean inventory, So when I need something, right when I need it, I call Father Chad and I just say, hey, real quick, I have memories. You got any memories? Because I have no more memory left. I'm all filled up. And he always delivers. Always delivers. So, that being said, I wish you all an amazing rest of your evening. And, just maybe ask yourself, what kind of person am I? Am I a fast food kind of person? Audio's cutting out. Or am I a cold pizza, think ahead but cold pizza kind of guy or gal? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you are in the chat. If you listen this long, let me know what you say in the chat and why. Give me an example in your life, and it doesn't need to be like school or procrastination, but like an area in your life where maybe you're the kind of person. Maybe you're the kind of person who you don't you're not a planner, you're not a think ahead kind of person, but in one area of your life you just like have to be prepared, get all your stuff together, and you're like days ready, you're just waiting. You know what I mean? Let me know if you're one of those people in chat, or let me know if you're the kind of person who's just has all their ducks in a row, just everything has to be planned out to a T, or else they can't relax or have any fun. But like there's one area of your life or one person in your life that you really like being around because they're spontaneous and their life is generally chaos, but a lot more fun than yours. Let me know in chat. Let me know your thoughts in chat, the comments below. But until next time, this has been Bad Analogies. I'm Alex Mishork. I thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.